What is the role that AI is playing in marketing?
The dangerous part over here is deepfake, because today with technology you really don't know what's real and what's fake.
Meet Ramya Ramachandran, founder of WHOPPL, a content to commerce company. Very excited today to talk to her about digital marketing, advertising trends, building brands on the internet, and helping brands understand the creator ecosystem. Let's dive right in. Every second person is an influencer today. How does a brand decide कि मेरे product के लिए ये influencer ठीक रहेगा?
पहली बात है, don't only look at followers. It's about the content, it's about the engagement, it's about the community the influencer has.
It's a sugary brand and they came to me saying that no, our product doesn't have as much sugar as XYZ. This is the messaging that we want to promote, that it's less than this. So we don't have to focus on how much sugar we have to focus on how little sugar we have. Now, where is the ethical part of advertising in this?
When they know it's a false claim and they still want people to talk about it, then that's a strategy they've used.
Is it right for the brand to market the product saying it's healthy when it's actually technically packaged food, processed food? How healthy can it be? We see a lot of celebrities endorsing things which they are not actually consuming.
Yeah.
Like recently came on some show and said, sugar to nahi hai na isme, sugar to nahi hai na, no sugar for me, and then she's promoting a sugary drink. Then there's pan masala.
There are few people who have said no, come what may. There are few people who have made amendments which satisfy themselves.
Where is the responsibility of the consumer in all of this? Hi guys, thank you so much for watching Candid Confessions with Chhavi. I want to say that the canvas of the podcast is growing week by week. और जो गेस्ट्स इस पॉडकास्ट पर आ रहे हैं वो भी बहुत अलग अलग तरह के आ रहे हैं. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर सब्सक्राइबिंग बिकॉज विदाउट योर सब्सक्रिप्शन दिस वॉज नॉट पॉसिबल. बट आई स्टिल वांट टू गेट अ लॉट ऑफ अदर गेस्ट्स ऑन द पॉडकास्ट एंड दैट is going to be possible only if you subscribe. So please subscribe to the podcast or follow me on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And going straight right into the episode. Thank you so much. Let's start. You can actually cut right now. I'm not ready.
This is how we're going to be
Yeah.
speaking, right?
Did you cut or were you?
No, continue.
Cut ho jayega.
I don't cut anything. I keep it
Oh,
as
really?
it is.
Is that fine? Is it too long? My
No,
answers?
it's not at all. Wipe it out. How long was that?
Oh, that's Maloney.
Okay, you just disrupted our shoot, man. Okay, everything okay? वो सब तो नहीं आ रहा ब्लॉक में? Okay, I'm giving a clap. Hi Ramya,
Hi, Chhavi.
how are you doing?
Very well. How have you been?
Very good. I'm very happy to have you on my podcast. बहुत टाइम से मैं चाह रही थी कि एडवर्टाइजिंग के बारे में किसी से बात करूं. एंड यूजुअली आई हैव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टोरीज ऑफ पर्सनल स्टोरीज ऑफ सक्सेस एंड विक्ट्री ऑन माई पॉडकास्ट एंड लॉट ऑफ डॉक्टर्स. सो यू आर गोना बी लाइक अ वेरी डिफरेंट गेस्ट फॉर मी, बट somebody who's actually from my field and I am looking forward to learning a lot from you today. तो सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं कि ओवर द ईयर्स वीव सीन एडवर्टाइजिंग में बहुत सारे चेंजेस आए हैं. एक ज़माना था जब बड़े बड़े ब्रांड्स ही सिर्फ एडवर्टाइज करते थे.
Correct.
और कन्वेंशनल एडवर्टाइजिंग होती थी. बड़े बड़े फिल्म स्टार्स या इवन जो मॉडल्स होते थे दे वर लाइक हाउस होल्ड नेम्स एट दैट पॉइंट जो एड्स में आते थे.
Right.
लेकिन आजकल छोटे छोटे ब्रांड्स भी डिजिटल मार्केटिंग करते हैं और इन्फ्लुएंसर मार्केटिंग करते हैं. तो आई वॉन्ट टू हियर फ्रॉम यू, हाउ हैज़ द ट्रेंड over the years changed in advertising? What is causing this shift?
Sure. Firstly, thank you for having me. I'm equally excited to be part of, your podcast. I think you asked some brilliant questions, and the kind of topics you cover is really good and very interesting. So thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Talking about advertising, like you rightly said, it has changed over the years. Like first, it used to be one mega celebrity, and then the brand endorsement trickling down to TV, radio, billboards, and all of that. Now, over the years, the whole digital marketing has taken shape to another level, with more smartphone users in India and everyone having like a digital screen. What happens is your ad travels faster. So the formats have also changed. The kind of things people consume has also changed. With that change comes influencer marketing, which is now one of the biggest ways to build, shape a brand. What influencer marketing does is it increases brand awareness, because influencers tend to have that kind of reach. They have their own audience. They know what their audience likes. So it becomes very easy for a brand to connect with the right kind of influencer to have the brand story out there. So that's primarily for brand awareness. Then comes consideration. Once your influencers are constantly talking about this brand gives this benefit, then if you are trying to get a product or a service, you'll end up trying that, consider that specific brand than any other brand, because you've been uh, you've got heard it from a lot of influencers. So initially how it used to be is like one person telling and everyone believing. Now it's become decentralized. A lot of people talk about the same brand. By people I mean influencers. So that whole credibility, that whole it's someone like me talking, that whole relatability is more. Hence brands are able to sustain even with mere influencer marketing and build success stories. Like if you see Mama Earth, if you see Sugar Cosmetics, they're completely built on influencers. So that's the future, and that's how it's shaping. Also, this market is growing at a very fast pace. I was just reading some reports which were like 322% increase
Wow. Over how many years?
over the last 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Because that's where the boom has completely hit. Post pandemic is when influencer marketing has taken complete shape and shape shifted the whole market and the whole ecosystem.
But tell me कि brands जब influencers आजकल तो इतने सारे influencers हैं. I think every second person is an influencer today. तो how does a brand decide कि मेरे product के लिए ये influencer ठीक रहेगा?
पहली बात है, don't only look at followers. It's not, there's a myth saying if you have the followers you're going to get the right kind of reach.
So glad you said it.
It's not about the followers, it's about the content, it's about the engagement, it's about the community the influencer has.
Absolutely.
If there is a sustainability influencer who constantly talks about how they are sustainable, what kind of things they use, then a brand can have a direct connect with them. Just because they have a following, that doesn't fit the mark. You need to have someone who A, represents your brand, B, has the same ethos, values, and C, is very authentic and genuine with the kind of synergy you and the brand have.
So when a brand goes to an agency,
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong in any of the pillars that I'm talking about. ब्रांड जाता है एजेंसी के पास, एजेंसी से कहता है कि मेरा ये मैसेजिंग है, मैं ये चाहता हूँ कंज्यूमर के पास पहुँचे. देन द एजेंसी क्रिएट्स अ कैंपेन, डिज़ाइंस अ कैंपेन, एंड देन द एजेंसी आइडेंटिफाइज द इन्फ्लुएंसर्स कि ये 10 लोग, 50 लोग या 100 लोग ये मैसेजिंग क्रिएट करेंगे. नाउ a lot of times, me as an influencer, I've seen that an agency will give the exact same brief to 100 people.
Right.
100 influencers. तो होता क्या है, at the end, the videos or the content which the creators create, it just looks the same.
Yeah.
So where is the authenticity factor? What is the right way to go about it?
Correct. And you've rightly pointed it out. So what happens is, when there are multiple such briefs where a lot of agencies are pitching the same type of influencers, what really cuts the mark or makes the mark is how close is your influencer selection to your brand. What's the rationale? What's the ethos? And the beauty of influencer marketing is not everyone doing the same thing. It's using their power, their tonality, and communicating the brand message as per how their audience understands. So if a comedy creator is given a serious act to do like a brand endorsement, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
You need to keep the influencer authentic. You need to have them to do what they do and then seamlessly fit in the brand. That's when a brand promotion is going to work, because you and me are consumers at the end of the day. We want to see why would we buy a product if we don't find it genuine, or why would we even consider about a brand or a product? Only if it's genuine, if it's relatable, we know. And I think now consumers are also getting smarter by the day. So a brand needs to have that. Even agencies need to have a very thorough selection process, saying why are we choosing these influencers? What are the kind of metrics we can get through them? How many comments? It's not about likes. It's not about, likes and all can be bought.
Can be bought, yes.
How many people are actually engaging with your post? What are the kind of questions they are asking? That's when you show your true influence. How many shares? I think even now Instagram is, boosting the whole shares features. They want creators, influencers to create content in such a way that people are sharing it. So that's also a very good metric to choose creators, influencers. And another beauty of it is, why share the same list? creator economy is booming. Creators, today there are influencers/creators in every category, and it's only growing. So why can't we look at newer, fresher faces who are more close to your brand ethos and have that kind of variety even in terms of content formats?
So do you as an agency, since you have an agency of your own, do you consider ki I'm going to an XYZ creator and this is a, let's say, comedy creator.
Yeah,
So let me give him the brief and let him do the script.
absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because I personally have faced this issue a lot with a lot of agencies
Yeah.
where they give me a script.
Yeah,
And I keep trying to reason with them that this will not work on my
Correct.
platform because this is not how I talk.
yeah,
So I understand your messaging, but let me talk the way I talk so that, it's better for everybody. We get more views, more engagement, better message sent across. But having spoken about that,
Yeah.
कि अभी जैसे मैं बोल रही हूँ कि it should fly with my community. Okay, that's the basic goal for everybody. Now, where is the ethical part of advertising in this? That a brand says that, okay, so recently a brand came to me saying that it's a sugary brand, and they came to me saying that no, our product doesn't have as much sugar as XYZ. This is the messaging that we want to promote, that it's less than this. So we don't have to focus on how much sugar we have. We have to focus on how little sugar we have.
right.
Right? So I felt that this is unethical.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be transparent. So how does that work? Advertising में आजकल कितनी जो promotions हो रही हैं, marketing हो रही हैं, कितनी authentic हैं? How does one decide that?
See, authenticity boils down to two things. One, brand being how crystal clear they want in their communication, right? If a brand has a false claim, then when they know it's a false claim and they still want people to talk about it, then that's a strategy they've used. The second part is influencer. Like you rightly said, that there is the sugary brand, and that's something you may not want to talk about because that's not something which goes with your ethos. So that's how an influencer can take that step, saying, no, it is not something I would like to do. And to actually come back to your previous question about how we sift through being an agency, how do we do these campaigns? So we literally do that. We do a briefing call with the creator. We understand what the brand really wants and what do we want to communicate. We just give the campaign idea, saying it can be around this. We give them the do's and don'ts, and then let the creator come on their own, come up with how they talk to their consumers, and then we float it with the brand. So that again is authentic, right? Because it's very it's to that creator or that influencer. It's not one glove fits all. So that is something which we follow. And coming back to your question about how would a consumer know whether it's real or no, because false claims are there, and how would a consumer know? You choose as an influencer saying, yes, there's something I would like to do, or you just stay away from it saying, there's not something which I support, or there's not something which falls within my guidelines and things like that. So that's a best way to be, because the more authentic you are, you'll have a more loyal following base.
Yeah.
And even there'll be respect for your community, people also saying it's everything does not boil down to money. Yes, of course it is, influencer marketing helps one pay rent and everything, but there has to be some sort of also responsibility. You have to have responsible advertising, because you are a voice for a lot of people, right? They're following you for a certain thing. So I feel there the influencer can put their foot down. And brands like, ASCI, there are guidelines like ASCI in place which takes care of the brand claims, what is true, how much of it can be
Okay.
spoken and things like that. Like
These guidelines are for brands
brands as well, yeah.
as well, and influencers as well.
Correct. Like ASCI comes into play. In between, there was this whole thing about fairness, and then there was an ASCI intervention, and then the brand had to kind of change the way it was spoken and represented. So there are these guidelines. There are these institutions who guide the claims, etc.
So this is the influencer's responsibility that we spoke about. Ki
Yes.
it doesn't resonate with your own personal ethos, then you don't do that campaign. You
Correct.
opt out of it. Ek to, yeah, like you rightly said, it is also running their kitchens.
Yes.
Bread and butter. So how does an influencer decide कि कहाँ पे line draw करनी है? Because I think a lot of brands today, like if you go to a supermarket, there's a separate section for health food. एक तो saying the other food is all unhealthy.
Yeah.
This is the only healthy food. But health food में भी कितना food कितना healthy है? I mean, is it really healthy? It's at the end of the day packaged. Is it right for the brand to market the product saying it's healthy when it's actually technically packaged food, processed food? How healthy can it be? So where is the brand's responsibility while creating campaigns?
Right. So there has to be, so brands have certain guidelines which they also follow. And you have rightly mentioned about how, where is their responsibility in saying so and so. But, you know, something like an ASCI is what can regulate these things. It's, as a consumer, you can go to consumer court and then understand why is this claim, or why are they saying XYZ in their ingredients when it's not actually healthy. And there have been such cases as well. But I feel now brands are becoming more smarter the way they communicate. If they say, for example, if it says no sugar, then what is the added replacement if it's stevia? So it's not sugar, but it's like a replacement of sugar. So I think that in the whole ingredient list is fairly clear. Read labels, whatever suits your boat. You don't have to consume everything an influencer or a brand is saying. You also need to say whether that is something you want to do. You know, influencers are like a medium to get you that reach, which you wouldn't have heard about that brand before. So now you get to know about that brand. But as a consumer, you need to take a well-informed decision whether these things, whether it aligns with me, is this something I want to try or no. At the end of the day, even consumers can take that
Yeah,
call.
absolutely. I was just coming to that point. Where is the responsibility of the consumer in all of this?
Right.
I mean, I feel ASCI guidelines are there in place.
Yeah.
कि अभी पहले एक ज़माना था जब मतलब not too long back,
Yeah.
but maybe a year or two back when influencers were endorsing products as themselves. They are no
Yeah.
longer models. Even actors, they are no longer models. They are endorsing products as themselves and saying कि मैं ये use करता हूँ, ये खाया मैंने weight loss हो गया, ये खाया मैंने height बढ़ गई और whatever.
Yeah.
Without actually disclosing that it's an ad. Which is great that ASCI has put these guidelines in place for influencers like us. And I think it makes me also very comfortable as an influencer. Ki I don't want to fool my community. They should know that this is a paid campaign. I've been paid to say certain things. Of course, it is my responsibility to not say things which I don't believe in, which are completely against the ethics that I live by. So I'm following those rules, which is great. But I think at the end of the day, the consumer who's watching that piece of reel or content also has a responsibility ki, theek hai, this is an ad and Chhavi is saying this, but let me do my own due diligence and see whether this product is right for me or not. So now in all of this, let's talk a bit about how does a brand decide the ROIs, return on investment, जिस पे सारे campaigns आजकल ROIs पर ही based होते हैं. And according to me, a lot of brands are still thinking that I spent 100 rupees, I made 110 rupees. This is a profitable campaign. I mean, how exactly are different ways in which a brand can measure the ROIs?
So ROI is not only to sale conversion. ROI is also the brand recall, the brand awareness, the kind of brand consideration. Because if you have to build a sustainable brand, you need to have people should remember it. So the efforts to remember it is one. So that can also be measured in ROI, where how many newer people are getting to know your brand through mentions, through different influencers, etc. Number two is, of course, you can have a direct sale when your brand is already established. You want to run campaigns which are very sales driven. Then nowadays there are affiliate marketing where everyone gets a unique link.
Right.
Every creator gets a unique link, so you literally know how many people have clicked and purchased the product through this. That is also working really well, where brands are willing to share revenue. But it's per sale. Like if you have a community of 1 lakh committed audience in your in your following range, then why do we have to have a flat fee? Why can't we have per sale? That can be way more than what you would ideally take for a reel or a story, etc. So that also gives you an avenue to if if you have that kind of good audience where you know that sale is going to happen, then these are the new ways also. But everything doesn't boil down to ROI in terms of if I've invested X amount in influencer marketing, I'm getting Y. These are different ways. You can measure through reach, you can measure through the kind of views a certain video asset has got. You can also see how many people have engaged within your brand communications, etc. And then there's also obviously the sale where you can put a unique link, track the user journey, see why they have dropped or see why they're buying the product more, what has worked for you. So yeah, these are the different ways.
इन योर एक्सपीरियंस टेल मी कि जैसे अफिलिएट मार्केटिंग की आप बात कर रहे हो जिसमें एक लिंक दिया जाता है क्रिएटर को, वो लिंक आप अपनी स्टोरी या कहीं पे भी जहाँ पर कंज्यूमर ये ऑडियंस आपका क्लिक कर सकती है उस लिंक को, तो ब्रांड को बेसिकली इट्स अ ट्रैकेबल लिंक, तो ब्रांड को पता लगता है कि ओके छवि की स्टोरी पर ये लिंक हमने डाला था, इस पर 50 क्लिक्स आए या 100 क्लिक्स आए या 500 था, जो भी क्लिक्स आए, एंड दैट्स हाउ दे ट्रैक, राइट? बट totally, like it's a very relevant question for me, and I feel for a lot of other creators like me, ki lot of times me as a user, when I go to somebody's story and I see a clickable link, I click on it and then I see the product, but I don't buy from there. Then I go to Amazon and I search for the product over there and I buy from there. So how can a brand track that activity in this kind of affiliate marketing?
Right. So, like what you just said is like a jugaad. It's like a loop also in the system. You can see the drops, why it has happened, but there is, of course, if a brand, if you give if you give the cookies option, then they can still see where it's happened. High tech today, we have technology.
Matlab how? What?
You have cookies in your internet, right? So it can show all the activities which is done. So
that this person clicked on the link but then went on Amazon, they can see that.
Correct. They can see something like that. And also, like, cookies vary. Like, few brands have like a 7-day, 15-day. So if you've seen something today and maybe you want to buy it after 7 days, then it still registers on who bought it on the 7th day. It depends. See, it's very brand to brand. It's tech to tech. Who has what kind of dashboard access availability. And nowadays there are a lot of external extensions which gives you that push notification saying, listen, there's something in your cart, or why don't you buy it, this is
correct,
these are like slashed rates now, it's further discounted, use this code. And so these are all push so that your purchase is complete. So someone who's like fully invested in influencer marketing then has these kind of dropouts, because it's not only health, like it also depends on the ticket size, right? Like if it's something maybe within 500, you wouldn't think so much, you'll just buy it. Maybe if it's maybe $100, you'll just buy it. But the minute it's something maybe 5,000, 10,000, you may think that is it really required now? It won't be that impulsive. So
and then it also depends on your requirement. Is there an immediate need for that thing? Maybe the need arises 6 months later and then you have brand recall and then you go and search for that brand at that point.
Correct.
Which is why I think affiliate links are very difficult to track.
Yeah, so affiliate is good for a shorter time duration when it is very clear communication that you're going to get this at a discounted rate at so and so time. Then it is, you have that window. It's like not an open-ended one, it's a closed-ended one saying within 3 days you're going to get that either discount or that offer which is valid for a short duration. So then it creates that FOMO within people saying, I don't want to miss out on that. That works really well, because then you said there's a loophole. Then what happens? Because you have got the people, you've got them to like what you're saying, but then they may go to some other link and buy and maybe just see where is it the cheapest. Or buy some other variant.
Sometimes it's just that, okay, you trust Amazon, that if you have to return it, it's going to be hassle-free. But with a new website, you don't know. They take longer to ship, and then if you have to return it, there could be a problem. And then you have to save your whole address and everything. So, the practical problems that I personally face as a consumer, and I'm a big online shopper. So I do it all the time.
Absolutely. And I think nowadays, these D2C brands have made it so easy to just shop with autofill. I know those all are not really safe for privacy reasons, but the whole experience has become so easy. You just buy things, you shop it, it's delivered within 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah,
That's the
sometimes
kind
I
of
feel if I give my phone in my 5-year-old's hand, he's
yeah.
going to end up shopping something by just clicking, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's become that easy now.
Right. So tell me, in your experience, abhi, aaj ke scenario mein, what is better, conventional advertising or digital marketing, influencer marketing? What is working best for brands today?
Digital marketing, for sure, because see, conventional marketing is good for credibility standpoint. Now there's a celebrity who's the face of your brand. It's great. It says the brand has that kind of establishment. It has credibility, and the celebrity is sharing that credibility. Now for day-to-day communications, you need someone who is like an influencer, who's like a real person talking about it, building that community. That works better. And even if you see the digital consumption patterns, brands are spending 50% of their money on digital marketing, where influencer marketing is a very big substantial chunk. Also, it's very industry specific, like maybe FMCG, fashion, lifestyle, beauty are very fast moving in terms of influencer marketing because it's quicker for the wholesale recall. It's less expensive compared to traditional marketing as well. And also today we all our attention span is reduced. We have to create content which sticks with you, and how can you do that is through having bunch of people talking about it. So, and it's also cost effective, less expensive than.
Better ROIs.
Yes, for sure. I'm a thorough believer in digital marketing, and there's so much more like influencer marketing, there's affiliate, these new ways. Even live streaming is not touched so much in India, but if you see in China, influencers are leading that. 400% sales happen through influencers in China. That's it. There's no celebrity, there's no one else. It's
Wow.
influencers driving that kind of consumption, driving that kind of brands. And with the whole digital smartphone penetration in across India, I don't think we are far away from that.
Talking about celebrities, we see a lot of celebrities endorsing things which they are not actually consuming.
Yeah.
Like recently, Alia Bhatt came on some show and said, "Sugar to nahi hai na isme, sugar to nahi hai na, no sugar for me." And then she's promoting a sugary drink. Like, where is that responsibility when you're a big celebrity and millions of people are following you for who you are and your work and what you do, and they want to be like you? Don't you think it's like fooling people? And then there's pan masala.
Yeah.
And there was a big episode which happened where the celebrity gave the money back and all of that. That no, okay, fine, this is not something that I endorse. After saying that this is not something I endorse, then endorsed it. So where is that responsibility for celebrities when it comes to marketing?
See, even for that, it's very celebrity centric. There are few people who have said no, come what may. There are few people who have made amendments which satisfy themselves. There are few who are okay with having an image because at the end of the day, it's the role they are playing, right? It's not their real values. It's what they're portraying to the world. It's like any other film. If they're playing a character, it's that character they are playing in an ad. So it's different ways of
No, but
thinking.
endorsements, they always endorse it personally.
No, as in, it's a character for them, right? It's like, okay, this is me, this is what I'm doing. I may not, if I'm doing pan masala, I may not be chewing pan masala on the daily. But this is something, which is going
But
to
I think the
probably.
contracts must be watertight. They cannot disclose that fact. Like if somebody is endorsing a thumbs up, they
Yeah.
cannot have a Pepsi outside because
of
I
course.
have thumbs up only,
Right.
right? So then they are endorsing it on a personal level. Then how does that? Where are the ethics when it comes to something like that? घर पे छुप कर आप कुछ और पी रहे हो और endorse कुछ और कर रहे हो.
Right.
So then you're fooling the audience, no?
Right. So again, like, there's nothing which tells what you can do, what you cannot do. Unfortunately, it is like that. And it is very like celebrity centric. If a celeb is okay having that and, if it aligns with them, they sign a deal and then it's all brand endorsements. At the end of the day, everyone has to pay their bills. But do I support that? No. I would, as a person, I would like someone who's truthful and honest to what they do and how much they do. But also, when you are a celebrity at that level, how many can you then also reject, right? Because there are only so many brands. There are only so many brands wanting those kind of credible establishment. And what I feel why they sign up for them is because they're a reputed company. At the end of the day, they come with a legacy. So maybe being with them, they think of it that way, that if I'm associating with a legacy brand, it's okay, because then other things are taken care of than just giving my face to something very fresh and new.
I think, in my opinion, in the advertising world today, a lot of things are happening which are unethical.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. Some things are happening on a larger level with bigger celebrities and bigger brands who come with bigger monies. And some things are happening on a smaller level with influencers like myself, or, smaller brands who have smaller money. But at the end of the day, I think there's a huge responsibility with consumers also to understand that this is a business, it is an industry. You cannot take everything on face value and make an informed decision themselves also. And talking about creators, can you tell us some kind of tips to ensure that the content that creators are making for brands, which I personally feel कि जो branded reel जो होती हैं जहाँ पे आप वो टैग कर देते हो ना कि पेड प्रमोशन वाला जो टैग आप ASCI गाइडलाइंस के हिसाब से जो आप कर देते हो, तो आपकी रील की रीच बिल्कुल मर जाती है. सो व्हाट इज इट दैट यू कैन डू एज अ क्रिएटर who's endorsing the correct brands and wants to make the brands also make good money and they want the campaign to be successful? What should we do so that the reel is performing well, or the shorts, whatever, the content is performing well?
Sure.
Organically.
The first thing is you have to have a very relatable content. If it's branded, if it's with the paid partnership tags, etc., it's okay. The relatability hook, how relatable is your content? How authentically are you showing that piece of content? Because there are branded content pieces which go viral as well. That's because that hook is so strong. That connection with the consumers is so strong that then you go beyond those, you don't see those tags, you don't see all of it, then you're sharing it for the pure content.
Yeah.
So your content has to be super impressive. And of course, putting tags, etc., it does go down, but it all boils down to your content at the end of the day. So you should know what you're good at. You should know why people follow you, and try doing more of it. So you'll get more brand partnerships. Your audience will also grow. And, at the end of the day, it's a win-win for both. The brand is also getting why they kind of signed up with you. And you are also happy because, your community feels you're being authentic and you're being real.
So is there any good time of posting, like for Insta separately or YouTube? If I post at this time, it will fly.
I feel now the algorithms keep changing on the daily. You really don't, time, etc. It also depends on your audience. Where are they from? When do they engage? What kind of things they engage to? So I feel as a creator, and, even for brands, they should know who their audience is. Like, when do they engage, or what do you put as a hook, like a cliffhanger, or they use the word clickbait. It all boils down to that. And get to know more about the algorithms, know what's the future. If video format is the future, if that's what the platforms are pushing, then you can't be doing static content. If carousels is a new way which is going to appear in your discoverability page, then you need to adapt and move to that. If there are hashtags and now there are prompts and keywords which are associated, which, the platform is again pushing, you need to get that knowledge and then action it to see success in your content format.
Great. And how important do you think is creating content professionally? Because I see a lot of creators, your DIY creators होते हैं, they have some really viral content which is very amateurly shot.
Yeah.
How important do you think is it for a creator to try and be as professional as possible?
See, I feel like today consumers, it again boils down to how clean your content is. It doesn't matter how aesthetic it is, how well shot it is, how well scripted it is. It all boils down to how relatable is it, right? Like if you're showing a piece of your work, then how many people can actually relate to it? Because the whole idea of influencer marketing is relatability at scale.
Right.
You look like you're not seeing a celebrity. It's you probably maybe going through the same things. So that relatability aspect is there. So, Now, again, it depends brand to brand. If you are taking a luxury portfolio or luxury brand, then you need to have that kind of aesthetic because your audience
Correct. You're
tends
catering to
to.
that TG.
Correct. If you're doing a FMCG household item, then you can have it as raw as possible because that's how you are going to be.
Right.
So you need to have like a very clear picture on what the brand is, what is their aesthetic, what is their tonality, who do they speak to, and whether it aligns with you. Keep it raw, keep it real. Even good content gets pushed, even raw content gets pushed. It all depends on what your hook is. Like what is inside is more important than how it is done.
What is the role that AI is playing in marketing? It's quite horrifying for me personally because they
Yeah.
are such beautiful looking influencers and they are not real.
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know what it's going to do to the youngsters today who are really trying to look like that.
That's true actually because there are two forms. One is that like companies are creating AI avatars to make it it's a novelty right now, so everyone wants to jump on that trend, which is good for novelty. And then whatever endorsements are done through that creator, it's very well transparently disclosed saying this is AI
AI
generated,
generated.
this is done for so and so reason, this how the the brand fit is. The dangerous part over here is with deep fakes. Deep fakes is a big because today with technology you really don't know what's real and what's fake, and content travels. You don't have control on who's watching what, and then that's little uh, problematic. Maybe to have something to vet what kind of content is true, what is created with like a deep fake, because there are a lot of issues happening on the internet and you don't know what consumers looking and seeing on what basis and then
Yeah, and
purchasing the
what state
product.
of mind
Yeah,
they're in and
correct.
what impact that's creating on them,
Yes.
right?
And also who, like someone has used someone's face, but it's all done on a AI platform. How much of that control? That is very scary because you don't know where it's traveling, and you don't have consent. It's
Yeah.
just done out of consent. So
That is very,
it's
very scary.
yeah.
But where do you see, how would you, how would you see marketing and advertising go in the next 1 or 2 years? I'm not going to talk about 5 and 10 years
Yeah.
because I don't know. The world is moving so fast today.
Feel we are at a peak right now with whole digital marketing. Influencer marketing is booming. Platforms like YouTube is pushing creators to build more, create more content, monetizing them very well. Um, this is only going to grow. More brands will understand the need and the it's more like even I keep telling my brands now that gone are the days where you do influencer marketing for like a hero idea. It's more like an always on. Now you're creating that brand recall on the daily with influencers. Like how you have social media where you actually do your content calendar, you post it saying who's going to what are we going to talk on a certain day, what are we going to talk in a certain week. Similarly, influencer marketing has become always on. You need to, because there's so much clutter in the market, you need to have a strong community which you're building with creators, with influencers, YouTubers, all of them constantly. It can't be like one off, ek kar diya and then there's a pause, dusra kar diya, then there's a pause. It has to be consistent. It has to be, and as agencies we constantly suggest that you should be doing this. Why don't we do this as a branded content series? Why don't we build this creator community for this? And we've seen that working well for brands as well.
How well is branded content doing right now?
Branded content is doing well. It again boils down to how integration, what integration, how subtle, how raw. Though we know it's a branded content, it can't be out there in your face, right? The more
Right.
subtle, the more
But are
organic.
brands still focusing on branded content or they're just completely moving towards influencer
No,
marketing?
they are doing branded content as well. They are also doing influencer marketing. These are all different
Okay.
legs through which, and the beauty of influencers are you can have them anywhere, right? Like today, influencers can not only just do a reel for you, they can probably host a 12 series episodic for you. They can be the face of your podcast. They can be, it's so versatile.
And how do you see content evolving over the next few years? Like I see that there was a time when YouTube 10-minute, 15-minute video was called short form.
Yeah.
Now it's called long form.
Yeah.
So how do you see content evolving over the next few years?
I feel shorter, quicker, snacker, more believable is how it's going to be. I was just reading, I think our attention span is less than a goldfish.
Oh my God.
Yes. So that whole 3 second rule,
3 second rule, yeah.
get the hook within that time frame is very important.
Yeah.
And having like very clear communication, very clear what you want to arrive at. Even if you want virality, having those hooks, having those anchors, and we are in a very good space where you can actually explore, experiment, see
Yeah.
what works. There's some new trend coming on the daily. There's something we are learning from. Sometimes it just blows up, sometimes it doesn't work. So I feel content, short form, I mean, the quick snackable is the way forward.
What are your views on YouTube increasing the length of shorts to 3 minutes, and now Instagram as well? Reels are going up to 3 minutes. Like, why are they doing that? What do they want from us? First, they started with 15 seconds, then they went to 30 seconds, then a minute, then 1.5 minutes, now 3 minutes. Where is it going? I'm so confused. Short or long?
So I feel even for platforms, they want to say what more ways can you also diversify content, and also how can you monetize. Like maybe a 60-second integration does not do justice versus
for a
a
brand.
3 minute for a brand. So how do you increase that? What different today podcasts are doing really well. For a podcast in that 1 minute, you can't gauge what exactly
True.
the conversation is. So maybe such things you need a longer format to have that kind of attention, have that engaged audience.
I'm actually very happy about that, because as a content creator, I do feel that it's very, very challenging to fit something meaningful within a minute.
Yeah.
And I mean, how much can you play around with texting? And there's a lot of responsibility nowadays. 3 second rule, 3 second में अगर आपका video engaging नहीं है, तो people have already moved on. No matter what is happening in the 4th or the 5th second or the 30th second, nobody cares. So I feel, and I see nowadays Instagram पे when you scroll the reels, you do see some long content also, and some of those pieces are really, really engaging, and you don't realize कि कितना time हो गया आप वही देख रहे हो.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot which is happening in the content field and in the marketing field. Thank you so much, Ramya, for having this very, very interesting conversation. And I think I can go on and on, because मेरे personal बहुत सारे सवाल हैं जो मैं कैमरे पे नहीं पूछना चाहती हूँ. But I think I'm going to leave all you people with this thought that whoever out there is trying to be a content creator and getting into the influencer space, like she said, just experiment, find your niche, find your community, and the brands will find you. There is a good thing about this for me is that there's no competition. Everybody's creating different content, and just because somebody's doing good in their content doesn't mean you can't do good in yours. And it's just that because everybody has a handset in their own hands, they can personally follow you also, them also, everybody, 100 people, 1,000 people, doesn't matter. So just keep doing the good work. And for brands, I feel that the sense of responsibility probably could go up a little more in terms of what is the messaging that they are giving to the consumers. And for the consumers, very, very important, please do your due diligence before falling for any of the marketing hacks, because at the end of the day, it's a business for everybody, and everybody is just trying to survive and sustain themselves. Right?
Yeah,
Did I sum it
absolutely.
up well?
Yeah. So as consumers, it's also like, don't follow everything you see blindly. Take a well-informed decision. You have the internet today. Google it. Does it fall into what you
Yeah.
know, what do you believe in, etc. Not everything you see, you need to have it. See whether
True.
you really need it. It's want and needs are very different.
Yeah, and AI should not just be used for by the brands. You can also use it. Use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ramya, once again.
Thank
and
you.
All you guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You're watching Candid Confessions with Chhavi. This is both of us signing out. Love and peace from us.